Introduction. I want to thank you and congratulate you for read the book, The Ultimate Self-Discipline Guide, How to Build Good Habits, Develop Self-Control, Beat Procrastination and Achieve Personal Goals. This book contains proven steps and strategies on how to develop self-discipline and achieve your goals. Many people barely develop self-discipline because of various reasons. It could be stress, lack of motivation, and exhaustion. However, despite these varied causes, there are ways on how one can successfully become a well-disciplined person. Self-discipline is not just about controlling oneself, but is about living a healthy, quality and successful life. Most people would misinterpret it as depriving oneself of life's greatest pleasures, but it should not be. Self-discipline should actually be a way for you to enjoy these pleasures without the negative repercussions of certain acts. Learn how to develop self-discipline and enjoy life with the tips provided in this book. Read on and find out. Thanks again for downloading this book. I hope you enjoy it. Chapter 1: The Power of Self-Discipline. When you hear your alarm early in the morning ringing at you for the nth time, all you want to do is to shut it off and go back to sleep. You bargain with yourself. 5, 10, 15 minutes more. You start thinking about not going to school or work today because all you want to do is to rest. But at the back of your mind, you know that you have to wake up, get out of your bed and leave. And so, with this in mind, you gather all your strength and power to open your eyes and stand up, with bare success. One of the many things that people have difficulty developing is self-discipline. For some, it is a burdensome word, a word that they never want to hear, while for some, it is the word that defines all their successes in life. Self-discipline encompasses various factors and may even be synonymous to words such as self-control, willpower, and determination. People encounter different circumstances every day that may put their self-discipline to the test. They have to control themselves from eating too much sweets and fatty foods. They have to go to their class or work on time. They have to start their task right now or else, they won't meet the deadline. And they have to keep telling themselves to just go on and never give up. Many people question the value of self-discipline. For some, developing self-discipline is a pointless endeavor. Why control yourself from doing what you want when it can only make you sad? The truth is, self-discipline is not just all about control nor is a form of self-deprivation, rather, it is about working your way toward success. You may not see it as you take your journey, but it will soon reveal itself when you reach your goal. One of the things that could help you ultimately develop your self-discipline is to know that you can get something great out of it. Realizing its benefits before you begin in your journey is a good motivational factor that will help you stick to what you have started. Self-discipline helps you save and earn more dollars. Many people tend to be impulsive when they go to shopping malls. They buy whatever it is that catches their interest. What's even worse is that some of these people regret what they have done after the impulsive episode had worn off. This is a clear evidence that lack of self-discipline can rob you of some dollars from your pocket. When you have a great deal of self-discipline running through your veins, you can control your impulsive behavior. Instead of buying something right away, a self-disciplined person would first consider whether he needs the item or not. If he does not, he won't buy it and he'll get to save some pennies. If you think he does, he might consider buying it. The same is true when you are self-disciplined enough to go to work on time. Being late to work does not only deprive you some precious time from doing your task, but it also negatively affects your salary. Every minute that you are late has corresponding salary deductions. Well, this depends, of course, on your employer whether he would tolerate a minute or two of being late, or not. You are lucky if he would, you are doomed if he would not. With self-discipline, you can have fun without the consequences. Well, this is most applicable to people who cannot control their urge to satisfy their cravings. Self-disciplined can eat the foods that they want without getting fat or sick. When faced with a tray of sumptuous meal, a person who lacks self-discipline would devour everything in front of him and suffer the negative consequences later on. He can either repeatedly go to the toilet or worse, he'd get a bit of a heart attack. Additionally, people who lack self-discipline have the tendency to develop vices, such as smoking, drinking alcohol, gambling, and so on. These, as you may have already known, are dangerous, not just to your health, but to the quality of your life as well. Smoking and alcoholism are risk factors for most cancers and heart diseases. Gambling can cause various diseases as well, which are mainly due to inadequate intake of food and financial losses. Lack of self-discipline may have negative repercussions that you might not realize now. In order to avoid experiencing these undesirable effects, developing your self-discipline now would make a great start. Chapter 2: Work on your self-control. When you were young and you were angry, you may have had some difficulties controlling your temper. You cried, banged the door, walked out, and cursed whoever it was that hurt you. In order to keep you calm, your mother would usually ask you to count from 1 to 10. And through this, you learn the concept and value of self-control. Just like Rome, self-control is not built in a day. It needs time, practice, and dedication for it to truly work out. Working on it might even be more challenging than getting a perfect score in your exam or getting that promotion by the end of the month. Some experts would even claim that one's self-control is limited. Every time you use it, it gets depleted. Notice how you lose your temper as the day goes by, how your mood changes as the sun sets, or how you feel like exploding after going through so much in a day. While it is true that depletion of self-control may not be stopped, it can, however, be delayed. In contrast to what most people think, self-control can actually be developed through so many ways. The important thing here is, you need to be consistent. Just like how you build your muscles or get that hourglass figure, you need to make use of these ways constantly. If you go to the gym regularly to achieve a buffed-up muscle, you would also need to fight against your unhealthy habits every now and then. Take a pause. Taking a pause or stepping back does not mean that you are giving up. It just means that you are rechanneling your energy and refocusing your thoughts into something else. For example, you've just had a fight with your spouse and you are really pissed off. How can you avoid kicking your dog or yelling at your younger sister after the incident? Well, you might think that it would be impossible to control yourself, but the truth is, it can be done. When you find yourself angry, the best thing that you can do is to take a pause. Stop whatever it is that you are doing, close your eyes, take 5 deep breaths and think of something that will get your mind off that circumstance. You can think of your favorite food or do what your mom used to tell you, count from 1 to 10. Taking a pause is similar with meditation minus the yoga mat and the lotus position. If you think that your temper counter is rising, don't hesitate to stop momentarily and calm your nerves. Do not deprive yourself of what is making you happy. Most people who want to develop self-control would wrongly deprive themselves of what they like most. Those who want to lose some weight would stop eating their favorite dish. Those who want to top the exam would stop going out with their friends. And those who want to get the job promotion they have been working hard for would stop spending quality time with their family. Self-control does not tell you to stop being happy, it just tells you to do things in moderation. One of the secrets to achieving your goal is moderation, whether it be some inches off your waist or some dollars more in your bank account. When you do things in excess, you will only suffer from negative consequences. If you have been working hard for the past few months that you get much less sleep or eat inadequately, you will only get sick. You may be earning more, but your money will soon be spent on hospital bills, medicines, and laboratory tests. The same thing happens if you have been trying to control your appetite, that you get much less nutrition than what you are supposed to. People who skip their meals, either through workaholism or diet, are prone to peptic ulcers and malnutrition. They receive much less nutrition and may soon develop weakness and fatigue. Talk yourself out of it. One of the best ways to get out of a predicament is to talk yourself out of it. When you need to do something, encourage yourself to go for it. When you need to avoid something, give yourself the reasons why you should. Simple statements such as, "I can do this," can make a great difference. Say it out loud and with conviction. Believe in these words and everything else follows. Choose your friends. Your friends can impact your decisions and your behavior greatly. Choose those who are willing to support you, those who know how to improve your weaknesses, and those who can help you achieve your goals. Between a person who entices you to eat a lot when you are on a diet and a person who keeps you away from temptations, choose the latter. You will most likely be successful if you have a friend who knows the value of support. Chapter 3: Starting Your Good Habits Today. Habits, whether good or bad, are difficult to break. They have been a part of your system that they come automatically. One great example of this is your morning routine. When you wake up and get out of your bed, you go to the bathroom, wash your face, brush your teeth and take a bath. After which, you dress up, eat your breakfast and go to school. When you miss doing something, you might feel like something is missing. That will cause a domino effect that will make you irritable, moody and unproductive. Developing good habits is quite a challenge. You have to break some bad habits and integrate the new good ones into the picture. It does not happen overnight, as well. It is part of self-discipline formation, remember? It would need time and commitment. But before you can proceed with developing a habit, you first must know which one is good and which is bad. Why do you have to know the difference? Simple. A good habit fosters self-discipline. The bad habit won't. First off, a good habit is a healthy act. Eating the right amounts of fruits and vegetables in a day is a good habit, while eating more fatty foods and less fiber-rich foods is a bad one. The same is true with managing your stress. Good stress management habits include getting enough sleep and spending your time wisely, while a bad stress management habit includes smoking or drinking alcohol to the point of toxicity. Simply put, bad habits can further aggravate your problem, while the good ones get you out of it. How do you start a good habit and stick to it? Take it one step at a time. Most people fail sticking to good habits because they are trying to accomplish so many things at the same time. For example, a person who wants to develop good study habits would read his books, read his friends' books and read the books in the library, which will only overwhelm his brain. This, obviously, would not work. Though one promises to himself that he would start studying hard today, one can only study as hard as he can. Be reminded that you can only do so much. Reading so many books will only confuse you, take up so much of your time and will only bring you nothing but headaches. Moderation is the key, remember? If you want to study for an exam, make use of the material that you have on hand and use it well. It may not have all the details that you need to know, but mastering that material can already guarantee you a great amount of essential knowledge. Keep it as simple and as small as you can. Think of a good habit that you think you can develop within your capabilities. For example, you have an upcoming exam tomorrow and you know that you are not good in memorizing things. To develop a good study habit, you must accept your weakness and do something about it. Of course, training your mind to memorize won't just happen in a day, however, there is something that you can do to compensate for it. Instead of trying to memorize each word, why not just try to understand the concepts behind it? It won't only allow you to answer your exam tomorrow, but it will also allow you to store massive information without great stress. Do it every day. The secret towards developing any kind of habit is consistency. Do it every day. Just like how you make yourself remember an important information, repetition is the key. Repetition and consistency will make the act automatic. Chapter 4. Defying Procrastination. There are times when you just want to lay down on bed and put off your task to another time or day. Kids call it laziness. Adults call it procrastination. Despite the knowledge that you need to start working on your task, there is this invisible force that is keeping you locked up on bed. This invisible force lowers your motivation and sucks your energy out of you. When you give in to this force, you will most likely end up not doing anything at all. You become unproductive and your time is put to waste. Once you realize what you have done, you will get more stressed, guilty and angry at yourself, which will viciously lead to more procrastination. Most people would promise themselves to overcome procrastination at the beginning of the year as a New Year's resolution, but they have to know that there is no perfect timing for defying it. The best time to start doing your task and stop putting it off is now. Waiting for the new year to come would just be another form of procrastination. And soon you'll realize, the year has already ended and you have not changed a bit. Procrastination may arise due to several factors, but whatever they may be, there is something that you can do to stop this habit. Here are some of them. Take some time off serious matters. Procrastination usually is triggered after a long day's work. When exhaustion dawns upon your vulnerable body and mind, There is no other way to go but to put off your task. The best way to address this cause is to avoid working yourself to death. Take some time off from work and spend away without doing anything. Do something that is entirely irrelevant to what has been stressing you lately. If you are an accountant who is stressed by so many numbers, try to avoid holding a calculator or computing for your household budget during your day off. It may be childish, but you can watch your favorite cartoons, cook some good food and get enough sleep. People procrastinate because they are so fed up doing the same things repeatedly, hence taking some time off from doing some of your routines helps you avoid procrastination. Love what you are doing. People lose their motivation to accomplish something because they are not really interested in doing it. When given a task that they don't like, they could either ignore it or do it half-heartedly. The opposite is true when you love what you do. When you are passionate about what you are doing, you are excited to start it and get it done. Additionally, when you love what you are doing, you won't feel exhausted despite the difficulties that you encounter in your job. Get some inspiration. The working experience of a person would be entirely different when he has some inspiration. You can either have your family or your friends as your inspiration. Think of someone who has made a big impact on your life. It could be your teacher in college who had always reminded you that you were one of the best students he had. It could also be your parents who are working night and day just to provide you with the best education possible. Or it could also be your friend who has always believed in you even if you have already stopped believing in yourself. The mere thoughts of these people would effectively get you out of your bed every morning. Get down to business. Rest is entirely different from procrastination. Resting is taking a break after a few days of work, while procrastinating is not doing anything even before the work started. There is only one way to instantly overcome procrastination, and that is to get down to business. Do not entertain second thoughts because they will just convince you to change your mind. Just do what you have to do and you will get past it. Set a goal. Motivation sparks when you know that you will get something out of what you are doing. Saving some money for a few months would be easy if there's something good waiting for you in the end, like a trip abroad or a gadget that you have been dreaming of. Your goals serve as positive reinforcements that would discourage you from procrastinating. Nobody would want to delay getting a sports car at the end of the year anyway. Chapter 5, Making It Happen. You have been reading about self-discipline, self-control, good habits and procrastination for the last 4 chapters, but what do they have to do with achieving your goals? The answer is, everything. Success or goal achievement is an interplay of these factors. Success would be difficult to attain if one or more of these factors is lacking. Achieving your goals is not a simple walk in the park, where you can easily come and go. The journey towards your goal is a one-way street. You can only move forward, go back to the past once in a while and look at what is in front of you. Self-discipline plays a major role in all of these, for without it, one can never have the guts to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to an 8-hour exhausting duty. Following the rules in your workplace is also an indicator of self-discipline, which may cause you your job if not satisfied. There are many ways by which you can achieve your goals, depending on your abilities, resources, and of course, degree of self-control. Here are some tips on how you can start reaching for that dream now. Set your objectives. Your objectives are short-term specific goals, which guide you to achieve the long-term ones. The objectives are sometimes called micro-quotas, because goals are broken into parts. Instead of just saying, "I will buy a car after 3 months," you can state, "I will earn $20,000 in 3 months and buy a car." What is the difference? The former statement only tells you what the person wants, but the second one specified how he plans to buy the car. This is the main function of the objective, which is to set a definite direction towards your goals. When you have already identified your objectives, you can already determine how to achieve your goals. How do you plan to earn $20,000 in 3 months? First, you can save money by spending less on unnecessary items. And second, earn more by working to the best of your abilities and get promoted. Reward yourself. When people are so busy reaching for their goals, they tend to forget to take care of themselves. Aside from eating a balanced meal, exercising regularly and getting enough sleep, you can reward yourself with a gift. It could be something that you have been wanting to have, or it could be something that can take your mind off your worries. Treat yourself to dinner or take a leisurely walk at the seashore. Watch the sun set or rise and watch how the golden color of the sun spreads all over the sky. Realize that rewarding yourself keeps you from developing burnout. Be smart. A goal is not just any goal that you want to achieve or happen in your life. It should be a goal that is catered by your abilities set within a given period of time. You have to be specific with what you want to do. Do you want to go to Europe or Asia? Of course, answers would determine the type of work that you have to do. The cost of living in Europe is a lot higher than Asia, hence you might have to save more money just to achieve it. It also has to be measurable and time-bound. If you are a doctor who wants your patient cured, you can say that she has already recovered if he does not have any fever anymore. Set a deadline for achieving your goal. The goal should be attainable and realistic. Though you have been working on having a mansion and sports car, these dreams won't happen if you only have $100 savings every month.